cause serious damage. That's why Absolute Restoration is giving away free faucet covers to our community while supplies last. Installing them is easy. Just slide the foam sleeve over your outdoor faucet and secure it snugly. Also remember to disconnect hoses, open cabinet doors under sinks, and let faucets drip during extreme cold. Call or text to check availability, and from our family to yours, please stay warm and protected.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Well, looking behind the scenes here, getting the forecast online, and I don't know about you, trying to avoid it being a Monday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Thank you so much for supporting us, for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather this morning. It is a beautiful but cold, maybe crisp is the word, day. I don't know. Let me look outside here. I got a little frost at my house. Do you have some frost at your house? Hey, let us know in the chat. Something we're kind of pushing a little bit more now that we kind of have the ability to do this, but you can interact with us, sound off with us as we kind of discuss back and forth everything going on this morning here. I appreciate everybody here for chiming in, for watching us on Mississippi Live Weather. Let us know what you're seeing there. Again, Marcellus, nice to see you, and nice to see everyone else on with us this morning here. And like and subscribe and get on all those different forums and support us here on Mississippi Live Weather. We'll be checking back in on that chat coming up here in a couple of minutes. But looking at your first 12 over the course of the remainder this morning, we're 29 at 8 a.m. That tells you obviously 20s now for actual temperatures. 43, 11, 49 by 2 p.m., 47 by 5. So, yeah, not a particularly warm day. I think probably do get some of those car and bank thermometers into the 50s, maybe some actual ones as well. It's just we're not talking about a warm one, that's for sure. It's just kind of a little bit, a little bit cool. We're almost what we expect for this time of year. I guess maybe that's just the spoiled starting to show up saying this is cold. We were certainly well above this last week. Mama Justice Doppler radar on the close shot here. We are in the clear. We are in the dry. Let's check out some cameras around the area, because as I kind of put this in the clear air mode, you can see some of the blues showing up. That would code in as snow, but those were all false returns this morning. If you don't trust me, easiest way to do that is check out our camera network here. Of course, our Skycam network continuing to expand. Tupelo camera. I do appreciate the good folks at Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling for giving us this shot here, and the good folks at North Mississippi Storm Chasers. 27 with only some very thin clouds looking back from Tupelo toward the south and west. It feels like 27. Means a little less breeze there than there was an hour ago in the Tupelo area. Another example on the other side there, we kind of had some of those returns. Maben, it looks like that reporting station, Starkville, is doing what it tends to do. That's where we pulled that data in Maben from pretty much right next door there at this time. But you can bet that those temperatures are in the 20s there, as is the case in Winona. A little cooler, 25 degrees. High, thin clouds, no precipitation out there in Montgomery County. Good morning to you out there in Montgomery County, and hopefully everyone else out there is enjoying a fantastic beginning to the day. So as we come back over here to Mama Justice Doppler radar, and I get my behind the scenes here back on the chat. Oh, Bubba's wishing it snowed here. We'll look at that snow forecast a little bit coming up here in a minute, but high pressure is the story. Nearest snowfall. Got to look at that lake effect stuff all the way up there toward the Great Lakes, right? So how close are we? Oops, I forgot to get my measure tool. Let's click it. Oh, that's not going to pop up on there as well. But obviously it's Great Lakes and back out there toward the northwestern United States. So, okay, now here we go. I think I got my thing behaving itself. You want to do it? There we go. Okay, about 750 miles away that direction and about 1,800 the other. The thing is that our next chances for moisture aren't going to come from either of those spots, believe it or not. As we go to our national satellite here, that'll kind of show on the very colorful version our next system, and that's the one we're looking at back there toward Chihuahua, Mexico. You can see we had very active subtropical jet last week. This little disturbance down here will bring us some moisture as it kind of rides up toward us. And then there's also kind of a cold front way up there into the plains that'll have kind of an impact as well. Looking at those colder temperatures, as you would imagine, when we're cold here in the south, it's a lot colder some other places. But really the coldest of cold is still deeply up there into Canada. So we're still waiting for that to recharge, but I think a bit of the colder air will kind of break off ahead more toward us as we go through the middle part of this week. So again, checking out The futurecast here, high pressure, close to us is the story, and that's helped us to have calmer sort of winds this morning. On the wide shot here, you can see again some high thin clouds, and if I step to this side here, you can tell a lot of those high thin clouds kind of come back there from Texas, sort of riding up here toward us generally in that direction. But you're not going to get any moisture out of this, and so that means to a large extent we'll have kind of a mostly clear day. Certainly not the low clouds, but no real meaningful moisture coming off of any of these clouds, made up mainly of ice crystals there. One thing I disagree with here on our futurecast is the way in which it kind of kicks out this trough. I would really call this more of a cold front, especially on the north end here, because this is going to break off some colder air, and that's going to make sure that later this week we're colder than in the earlier part of the week. And like Elena says out there on YouTube, it is brisk outside. It definitely is this morning. Somebody asking for the 70s? Ooh, I don't know about that. Frost and Steens. I think frost for quite a few spots this morning. That should not last super long with the sunshine out there. We're 35 by 9, we're 46 by noon, 50 degrees by 3 p.m., probably our peak temperature out there. And in comparison to this morning, by late this evening, again, getting cool again, but not as cold, 44 by 6, 36 by 9, and yeah, we're in the 20s, which isn't as cold as today for tomorrow. Now, coming up here in 60 seconds, well, be looking at more detail at the bigger drop in temperatures later this week. You'll get to see on Futurecast that rain chance associated with that trough. You kind of see what I mean. I think I'd call it definitely more cold front than trough. Either way, that's in the nitty gritty. We're down in the weeds, and you guys are in the comments right now beside me there. Keep commenting. We appreciate y'all for being with us. Last year we had snow, is what Summer mentioned there. We're going to look at the forecast for snow a little bit toward the extended forecast, especially if I can get through the rest of this stuff in a fairly decent pace there. Everybody wants to know about snow. We will tell you about that. And the comparison as to why maybe what you've seen on social media is garbage. It'd be nice, though. That's coming up in 60 seconds as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
We come from a long line of farmers, and there's a sense of pride, but there's also a significant amount of pressure.
Farmers have to take care of their physical and their mental health, because what's a farm without a farmer?
Watching the sun come up, that's my time. I can have a cup of coffee, and every day is a new opportunity.
That's cool. Your hand's gotten so Yay!
Don't forget to check in on yourself. Love your mind.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovhawn.
Jason's trying to wake up and get his roll on. I'm telling you, this morning that was rough. Yeah, I don't know if this is too much information. I'm not usually a morning shower person. It's usually midday for me. I woke up this morning and it was a little chilly out there for sure. We're 25 in Columbus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lovhawn. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather on this cool morning. There's a conversation going on behind the scenes here with folks on our chat. I'm not going to leave this up the entire time so we can kind of focus in on all the stuff, but we appreciate all of you guys. Summer says she thinks we skipped winter. We did not. You look at the 7-day forecast here in a minute, at least temperature-wise, we absolutely did not skip winter. Again, the folks in Columbus, fairly cool this morning there. I appreciate the Mississippi Department of Transportation. We use a lot of their MDOT cams from time to time, especially in active weather. Up the road there in Caledonia, it's 25 degrees. The feels-like temperature there at 25. There's just not a lot of wind, thankfully, this morning. That kind of helping us out. Pontotoc. One of my favorite cameras there on the south side of the Pontotoc area showing up with 27. Good morning to you there in Pontotoc. And we slip out there into the Delta. Some great shots this morning as well, including this one coming out there in Cleveland of the high clouds. This is going to update here in just a second. When it does, you'll see the pop from the color but I wanted to hold that a second ago. Again, maybe again showing primarily just those high and thin sort of clouds. On Mama Justice Doppler radar at this minute in time here, again, no precipitation out there. We are dry. So as we check out that forecast and you look at temperatures, mostly in the mid-20s, wind chills, mostly in the mid-20s as well. Not a big difference there because the winds are thankfully fairly calm. But later this week, we're going to have wind chill temperatures that are down into the 20s. Not 20s, down into the teens. So really, really cold air ahead, so be thinking ahead about that. And by the way, we've mentioned this a few times, but our friends at Absolute Cleaning and Restoration have been big sponsors of us. I think very first sponsor to sign on with us on Mississippi Live Weather. So support them and let all of our sponsors know that you appreciate it. But they're giving away these little faucet covers here. It's a little foam container, has a, you can't see through it because it's a green rubber band, but a little rubber band there. You stick this thing on the spigot outside, and then you kind of rub around outside, and it'll protect it. So the kind of things you need to think about there, and they're providing these to folks in the community. Find them on Facebook, Absolute Cleaning and Restoration. They have a post. Hey Siri, remind me in 45 minutes to repost Absolute Cleaning and Restoration about the faucet covers. Okay, we'll take care of that. We'll repost that if that's something that you need. We're still in that time of year where we're going to be doing some of that there. School bus forecast for today, 28 degrees. As you can see, we're picking the kids up from school. We'll drop them off at 50 when the bus brings back and drops them off later on today. Appreciate IMPC again for sponsoring our school bus and school day forecast. But yeah, they are going to need to bundle up today. Maybe not in their biggest coat later this week. That might be a little bit more of a necessity. We have one day where it's going to be a struggle to even make it to 40 degrees. Yeah, I know. So clouds, yes. Rain, no. Keeping it dry. High, thin, cirrus clouds made up primarily of ice crystals, what these are. So it looks like a ton of cloud cover out there. And realistically, it's not going to actually seem like a ton of cloud cover as we are mostly dry and mostly clear. So completely dry and mostly clear. 50 in Tupelo as well as Amory for those high temperatures today. Again, normal is about 53. We'll be 52 there in Greenville, 51 Belzona. Only 40s though for Red Bay, for Hamilton, Alabama, and for Iuka coming in the upper 40s for the high temperature for today. So not ever particularly warm, right? And then keeping it clear and, well, at least mostly clear for tonight. Notice as we kind of remove even that veil of thin cloud cover, that'll then expose us to cold enough air that we could actually have some bits of fog around for the first part of early morning Tuesday. We were looking for you in Columbus. It shows a little bit in Columbus there, maybe not Caledonia. So very, very patchy stuff. Not long lasting, not the dense fog like what we had last week. Nowhere near enough moisture for that, thankfully. So 33, that low temperature in Holly Springs for your Tuesday, 31 New Albany, 29 in Tupelo as well as Amory. And wind chill temperatures almost the exact same there. 31 Water Valley again, as well as Oxford at 6 a.m. to begin your early Tuesday morning. Maybe some mid-20s out there, but slightly more mild than we were for today, with any of that cloud cover being very, very short-lived in the form of some of that fog. So we still remain, again, largely dominated by high pressure across this part of the country. The next kind of storm system, more meaningful storm system we're looking at is this one back out there into Texas. It's going to kind of lift toward us along this front. You see the front right there. That really should probably, if I were the one drawing this surface map here, and it's one of the things that just kind of comes with the system, I'd have that as a cold front. So I might have to change that a little later on today if we can. But that is going to represent some colder air kind of nudging in. So you get this system here kind of lifting up, a piece of cold air from what some people you could call the polar vortex. Just one of those phrases to describe this cold air that swirls around the North Pole. A little piece of that breaks off. And so that's what is going to keep the northeastern United States cold. This storm system, though, as it approaches us, all that precipitation stays in Texas on your Tuesday. But I think the combination of these things, that will bring more in the way of rainfall chances by Wednesday. We'll track that for you precisely here in the next couple of moments. So upper 50s to low 60s out there. This is back above our normal, as you can see above my head there, for Tuesday afternoon, I should say. About 60 Bruce, Water Valley, and Grenada, 60 in Eupora. So that's probably the warmest we get this week, because after that, with this next little bit of cold air that breaks in, it's going to be pretty chilly for sure. So here we have that brown line represents a trough. It's really more of a cold front that arrives as we progress into your Wednesday, kind of nudging in here in the early part of the day. They're the first showers, as you can see, in the pre-dawn hours of early Wednesday morning. Trying to get here, Bolivar back toward around Marianna, Arkansas, West Helena, Olive Branch, watching that for you again, South Haven, and then down here to around Boonville, Oxford, Sardis, and Clarksdale on our strike model by 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. So is that rain? Yes. It's completely rainfall. As you can see, upper 30s. We show Boonville, Tupelo, Amory, coming about 40 there in Eupora, 41 in Greenwood, and 42 Belzona, Cleveland, and back toward around the Greenville area. Wind chill temperatures, pretty similar, within a couple of degrees. Not a huge impact on Wednesday. It's Thursday morning. That's when it starts getting chilly. Wait for it here in a second. Or maybe you don't want to. It's ugly. It's ugly. Anyway, here are the showers on Wednesday. And again, notice how this is all pretty light, not just here across the region. Part of the reason for that is we're kind of dragging in this colder air from the north and west with this system, right? So in this scenario here, you know, we're not bringing any moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico like last week. Remember last week we were drawing all these arrows like this? We're like, moisture coming in, and that's not what happens in this. If you look closely, you can see that all of the dots are kind of out of a westerly direction. So this system has to kind of bring the moisture in with it. It doesn't have a lot to work off of. So this is pretty light variety showers that kind of shift through the area. Really the first 2/3 of your Wednesday might only add up to couple hundredths of an inch of rainfall. Not a lot of meaningful rainfall. We're still well behind with drought conditions in all locations, despite having some rainfall last week. We will get a new drought monitor by Thursday, but I expect that to still probably keep most of us in drought conditions. But you can see this system clips most of the moisture right on out of here. Sometimes we call it a clipper system as we progress there into your Wednesday afternoon. So look at these temperatures. Only 52 South Haven, Senatobia for highs on Wednesday, 52 Holly Springs. We're showing 55 Starkville, 56 there in Macon, and 55 degrees in Aliceville. This is cooler than tomorrow will be, cooler than last week. But there's no arguing with that. Our 30-year average, our normal for this time of year is 53, so we're pretty close to that. Low temperatures Thursday morning, and here's where we hit the chill. Yeah, back down there in the mid-20s. Again, that's why these faucet covers, whether it's this one, whether it's a towel, whether it's one of the normal ones you could buy at one of the hardware stores, you want to make sure that you have one of those over top of your faucets. Here's the way it impacts you and me a little more, letting those kids out for school. I mean, if we're honest, that's 2 degrees there in Red Bay on that wind chill temperature for Thursday morning at 6 a.m. from single digits. And anytime it's single digits, I'm like, that's enough. So yeah, it's going to be very chilly out there. I mean, 16 there in Starkville and Macon and Louisville for the wind chill temperatures early Thursday morning. So that is the coldest we get over the course of this week. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Has us again 59 on Tuesday. Today we're about 50 degrees, and then we have that front that kind of comes into the area, and then that drops temperatures. I'm showing only around 40 for that high temperature on Thursday. You factor in the wind chill temperature, and this number doesn't matter because it will be windy enough. It's going to feel colder than that all day long. It's a day that never warms up. So who was it? Let's pop up that chat here a second ago, and it's probably gotten away from us here. Someone was mentioning that they were hoping it was going to be that we skipped right past winter. What was that at? Let's see if that's still on the screen there. Winter won't be here until February. Well, I'll argue that right here, that if winter counts as snow, it always just takes just the everything right for that one system. But kind of looking at this list here, I think the big headline is that the cold is definitely here by the latter part of this week. No real precipitation to kind of work off of there. So let's look at stuff. Man, I got 10 minutes to get ready for the next show, but we'll quickly look at something here. Us. And we'll look more at this in more detail coming up after our next broadcast, but regional, where are we at? Regional GFS, Futurecast temperatures 348 hours. Let's just have a look-see, shall we? So this is kind of one of our models here. Again, you can see at the top just the different days we're talking about. And so showing some of those showers the middle part of this week. It has, again, more thunderstorms down south Mississippi potentially, but no wintry precipitation with that. And then we're just the really cold air. Okay, this kind of gives you an example here, right? So let's go back. So here is your like midday temperature, afternoon temperature on Wednesday. Temperature, not including wind, upper 30s in this model. And I'll be perfectly honest, when I showed you the 7-day forecast, I had 39 for a high on Thursday, and I chickened out. I was like, give people another day of hope. So that's what I was trying to do there. Below 68 is cold is what Elena says there. You and my wife would get along, that's for sure. Hamilton, Lackey area, very cold with some frost out there this morning. Hopefully, want to freeze with this rain. Well, we don't want freezing rain, but I know what you're saying there. Yeah, so a lot of good comments there as well. So let's look beyond this here. If you're looking for anything that resembles snow, there's kind of another system trying to clip into the area. I'll go a little wider on this so we can see a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything wintry until this shows something Sunday getting close-ish. But this is light, and watch how quick it's in and out, which is why I wouldn't trust this model yet. Again, 2-3 days out is the only time we really kind of trust these. But yeah, Sunday, it shows something getting close-ish, and then quickly kind of hitting the mountains out there closer to Knoxville and Asheville and kind of sweeping on through. And then if we go beyond that, it's like, well, maybe something quick-ish, like about 8 days from now, 7-8 days from now, and then some moisture, and that would be more storms probably late next week. Yeah, I mean, so we're going on this projection, more storms again, closer to the 24th. Yeah, so this particular projection, going all the way out, I'm looking for it there for you, but it does not look like we have a ton to work off of. So again, 7-day forecast, big headlines. Today, we're dry. Today, we're dry tomorrow. Chances for rain Wednesday, kind of quick in and out. And then we're going much, much colder by early Thursday. And looking toward that extended forecast as well. Our next live broadcast is going to be coming up here at 7:30 a.m. Of course, folks getting up a little later out the door. Well, I have a little bit more time because I got to get racked and ready to go for that there as we can, here in the Room to Room Weather Center, track that forecast. But I'll be coming up here at 7:30 a.m. I just might leave the Facebook and YouTube stuff all live on this. Certainly I'll leave Facebook live. YouTube dings me on the music on the channel, so I'll probably shut the YouTube down and bring it back up. But yeah, here in the Room to Room Weather Center, we'll be looking in more detail at everything related to this and maybe just answering a few more of those questions, hopefully, in a couple minutes. Appreciate your support, and thanks for watching us here on Mississippi Live Weather.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.